Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class from Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 35. And it's going to be a recording of a lecture given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We request that you kick your volumes up on your listening devices. Sometimes the volume recorded is kind of low. All right, so without further ado, we'll start the class. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yat Atra Kriyate Karma Bhagavat Paritoshanam Jnanam Yat Tat Adhinam Hi Bhakti Yoga Samanvitam Yadatra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yattadadhinam hi Bhakti yoga samanvitam Yadatra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yattadadhinam hi Bhakti yoga samanvitam Yadatra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yattadadhinam hi Bhakti yoga samanvitam Whatever Atra in this life or world Kriyate does perform Karma work Bhagavat unto the personality of Godhead Paritoshanam satisfaction of Jnanam knowledge Yat Tat what is so called Adhinam dependent He certainly Bhakti Yoga devotional Samanvitam dovetailed with Bhakti Yoga. Translation. Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga, or transcendental loving service of the Lord, and what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor.
Yadatta kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yattat adhinam hi bhakti yoga samanvitam. a similar passage is there. Samsiddhi Haritosana. Atha Pungvi Dijasreshta Varnasama Vibhaga. Atha Pungvi Dijasreshta Varnasama Vibhaga Sanishtitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhi Haritosana. Similar. Bhagavat Paritosana. Bhagavat Paritosana or Haritosana, the same thing. So, first of all we must know what is Bhagavat or Hari. Then we may try to satisfy. Unfortunately, we do not know what is God. Where is the question of satisfying Him? This is it. At the present moment, vague idea. What is God? Practically, no idea. What is that God? God is good. Sometimes they say God is great. But what is that God? How great He is? How He is good? Nobody knows. So, where is the question of Haritosana? If I do not know, somebody says that you go and satisfy Mr. Such and such, Mr. John. But I do not know who is Mr. John, where does he live, what does he do, then how can I satisfy him? This is the position. So, Haritoshanam or Bhagavat Paritoshanam can be possible when you actually know what is God. Otherwise there is no question. So far we are concerned, Krishna conscious devotees, we know who is God. Therefore, this business is possible by us, not by others. We know what is God. We have no vague idea. We know who is God, where does He live, what does He do, His name, address, His father's name, everything we know. Therefore we can satisfy. We are competent to satisfy because we know exactly who is God. That is Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. How do you know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Yes, by history, by authority, by his action, everything, complete. We know from historical point of view, Krishna is there in the Mahabharata. Mahabharata means the history of great India. Maha means great. Greater India. Greater India, this is history, itihas. Itihas means history. So, there is Krishna in the itihas, in the history. In the Vedas also, there is name of Krishna. In the Yajurveda, there is name of Krishna and his father's name, Vasudeva, everything is there. And besides that, Krishna appeared as he is 5,000 years ago, and he acted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, where is the difficulty to understand Krishna? Aishajyasya samagrasya virjasya jasasya sriya. Everything complete. Krishna, the richest personality, the most beautiful personality, the most wise. He has given the Bhagavad Gita. Apart from other instruction, the Bhagavad Gita is there. Who has given such wise instruction throughout the whole world, throughout the whole universe? Nobody has given. God means the wisest, the richest, the most powerful, the most beautiful. So, you are so beautiful that 16,108 very, very beautiful women, and this is married and unmarried many millions. They were attracted by Krishna, the most beautiful. Shama Sundar, his name is Sundar, very beautiful. Although Shyama, blackish, still he is so attractive. Kandarpa koti kamaniya vishesha sobham. Kandarpa koti is so beautiful that he can surpass in his beauty the cupids, millions and millions of cupids. His name is Madan Mohan. Madan Mohan, Madan is Cupid. Cupid enchants everyone, but he is enchanted by Krishna. That's what his name is, Madan. So, Bhagavat Tosanam, we must know first of all who is God, who is Bhagavan. So Shastra says, authority says, and history says, what more proof we want? What more proof? Is there anyone to challenge Krishna? Everything is there. Still, why you are searching after God? This is foolishness. This is foolishness. Owl's philosophy. Owl's philosophy, the owl will not open the eyes to see the sun. Just open your eyes, you see this, here is sun. No, there is no sun. This is owl's philosophy. Close the eyes, meditate, and the God is here. No, I will not open my eyes. So, we do not follow this philosophy, owl's philosophy. We follow real philosophy. What is the real philosophy? Suti Pramanam. Evidence from the Vedas. History, Aitijya Pramanam, history. And Anuman Pramanam. There are many, Pratyaksha, Anuman, Aitijya. So out of that, there are so many evidential processes. But according to followers of the Vedic principle, their process is Shruti Pramanam. Shruti Pramanam means if it is mentioned in the Vedas, Upanishad, then it is Pramanam. Shruti Pramanam. So, Vedas, there are 4 Vedas and 108 Upanishads, and then 18 Puranas, then it's Mahabharata. So all these are Vedic literatures. Srimad Madhyacharya describes them. These are Vedic. literature. Not only the four Vedas, Sam, Yajur, Rig, Atharva, but expansion of Vedas. Puranas, they are also Vedas. So in the Purana, in the history, in the Vedas, by the authorities, just like Brahma, the best authority, because he is the first living being created within the universe. Adi Purush, not Adi Purush, Adi Kavi. Adi Purush is Krishna. And Brahma is Adi Kavi, the original learned scholar. So, our theory of creation means, first of all, Brahma is created. So Brahma is called Adi Kavi. Tini Brahma Rida Jat Adi Kavi. Adi Kavi means Brahma. So Brahma's knowledge, what does he say? Brahma says, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhaja. Brahma says, Govindam, Krishna. Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpa vrikkha lakhabritesu surabhi ravipalayantam. He is giving description about Krishna in the Brahma Samhita. And the description of Krishna's abode. Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpa vrikkha lakhabritesu surabhi ravipalayantam. Everything is there. This is authority, Shruti. Krishna is very much fond of tending cows. Surabhi Ravipalayan. Chintamani Prakara Sadmusu. He has got his abode, Goloka Vrindavan, where the residential houses are made of Chintamani, touchstone. Touchstone, we have heard the description, touchstone means the stone which you touch to the iron and the iron becomes gold. So such touchstone, they are used as brick. Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpa vrikkha lakha and kalpa vrikkha. This is Krishna's abode. They are not like this. They are all spiritual. Here everything is material, but there is spiritual touch. That spiritual touch we are describing in the Bhagavad Gita. Bijoham sarva bhutana. Without spiritual touch, there is no question of material manifestation. That is not possible. This body, your body, my body, this is material, everyone knows. It is made of earth, air, water, fire, like that. But how it is manifested? How the beautiful body is manifested? Because there is spiritual touch. The spirit soul is there. Dehinasmin jatha dehi kaumara jovananjara. Tatha. This external body is changing, but it is forming on account of that spiritual touch. That spiritual touch means Krishna. Bijoham sarva bhutana. So, therefore, the origin of everything is Krishna. Just like the origin of a big tree is the root. Similarly, Krishna is the Adi Purusham, Govindam Adi Purusham, Sarva Karana Karanam. Just like in the tree, there are trunks, branches, twigs, sub-branches, leaves, flowers, so many things. But the cause is the root. So here it is said that Paritoshanam, Bhagavat Paritoshanam. The root must be satisfied. If you want to maintain the tree, then the root or the original cause of the tree should be satisfied. Then everything is satisfied. So, here in this material world, they are trying to be happy, but they do not know how to become happy. They are put into the ocean of nescience, maybe very expert swimmer, but simply swimming will not save you. You must know how to save. So, here it is said, Jadatra kriyate karma. Everyone is doing something. Vaidiki, Laukiki, Va. There are two kinds of karmas. Vaidiki means according to the Vedic rituals, performance of big sacrifices and so many other. That is called Vaidiki. And Laukiki, just like we have got good experience nowadays, there are so many activities, factories, mills, and scientific research work, so many. This is Laukiki. So, Krishna does not say, the Sutta Goswami does not say that simply by Vaidiki activities, big ritualistic ceremonies, you can be happy. You can be happy even by Laukiki. Laukiki means these material activities. Generally people understand big factories nowadays, or agriculture or anything, there are Laukiki. For maintenance, Laukiki means for maintenance of the body. So, Narad Muni recommends that Jadatra, anything you are doing, kriyate. Atra means in this material world. Atra. Jadatra kriyate karma. Bhagavat paritosana. It doesn't matter that you do not understand these Vedic rituals, but you want to develop the economic position of your country by industrial enterprises. Yes, that is also good. That is also good. How? Bhagavat paritosana. If it is conducted for the satisfaction of Krishna, then it is good. So our Krishna consciousness movement does not say you stop anything. No. Whatever you have got liking, you can do. But Bhagavat paritoshanam. By your work, you try to satisfy Krishna. This is our purpose. We do not say the negative. Stop. No. And it is confirmed in the Shastras, atapungvi dijasya. Generally, according to Vedic principle, there are 4 divisions of karma. Varnasrama, not 4, 8 divisions, according to Varna and Asrama. Atapungvi dijasya Varnasrama vibhaga. The division of work must be there. Otherwise, the society cannot go on very nicely. If everyone is Brahmana, not interested in anything material, or simply because it is after all material world, If everyone becomes Brahmana, then it will not go. There must be other. Kshatriyas means the statesman, protector, politician, diplomats, Kshatriyas. And there must be Vaishyas also, productive class of men. They must produce economic development. That is also required. Otherwise, how human society will go on? Not only intelligent class of men, the protector class of men, the productive class of men, and the worker class of men. Suppose we are constructing this temple. If we devotees remain Hare Krishna, then who will construct this temple? Everything is required. We do not say this, stop this or stop that. No. So that division, different division is scientifically made in the Vedic conception of life, varna, asrama, 4 varnas and 4 asrama. Asrama for spiritual advancement and varnas for material advancement. So we want both of them, because our life is combination of spirit and matter. So it is not that to make the best use of a bad bargain. Suppose you have got a car, it is not very good car. It's not American car or ambassador. Thrice brakes, but you have to utilize it. Bad bargain. Similarly, somewhere or other we have got this material body, we cannot neglect it. We don't say the neglect, don't care for the body. No. Why? That is the instruction of the Goswamis. Anasaktasya vishayam jatharam upajanjata. Don't be attached to the bodily demands. Bodily demand means eating, sleeping, sex life and defending. These are bodily demands. So if we say that I am not this body, so I don't care for this eating, sleeping, no. That is not. It is not vairagya. This kind of renunciation is not recommended by our Krishna consciousness movement. Krishna consciousness movement, the Goswamis recommend anasaktasya vishayam. You do not be attached to the demands of the body, but you utilize it for advancing in Krishna consciousness. Eating is required. If you don't eat nicely, then body cannot be maintained. But anasaktasya vishayam jatarham. Eating is required, but not eating too much. Not eating to the taste of the tongue. Unnecessarily eating meat, fish, eggs. Why? You are human being. For you, Krishna has given so much varieties of food stuff. Fruits, vegetables, nice rice, dal, milk, ghee. Why should you go to the meat eating? This is required. Eat like human beings, not like cats and dogs. But eating is not prohibited. That is not our place. Don't eat like cats and dogs, but eat like human beings. Similarly, sleeping also. Sleep, you require some rest, but don't sleep 26 hours. Not like that. At most 6 hours to 8 hours, sufficient for any healthy man. Even the doctor says, if anyone sleeps more than 8 hours, he is diseased. He must be weak. Healthy man sleeps at his test 6 hours, that is sufficient. That's all. And those who are tapasya, they should reduce sleeping also. Just like the Goswamis did. Only 1.5 hour, or at most 2 hours. That also sometimes not. Actually, we should reduce this. Nidrahara viharakadi vijito. This is Goswami. Goswami does not mean Godas. Go means senses. And Das means servant. If we keep the title Goswami and become servant of the senses, it is cheating. You must be Goswami. Means you must be master of the senses. Self-control. So what the Goswamis did, Nidrahara viharakadi vidito chattanto dinam chajo. Very humble. And Nidra means sleeping, Ahara means eating, and Vihara means sense enjoyment, Vijito, the conquered one. So, our process is to follow the Goswami. Ei chhay Gosai jar tar mui dar. So we should try to follow the Goswami. We should keep in view what they did. They used to, I will say, pass their time in Krishnat Kirtana Gana Nattana Paro. Krishnat Kirtana Gana Nattana Paro Premamritam Nidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priyo. Dhira Dhira. There are two classes of men in the world. Dhira and Adhura. Adhira. Dhira means saintly persons, sober, those who have controlled their senses, Goswamis, and Adhira, just the opposite. So, these Goswamis, 6 Goswamis, they are popular to the both classes of men, Dhira and Adhira. Their character was so sublime, nice, that even in this Vrindavan, when Sanatana Goswami is there, the village men, they would accept Sanatana Goswami as the leader of the village. Actually they are leader, but to pose himself as leader but cannot control others. Gaya mane na apni moro. Not like that. You must able to lead them. So although Sanatana Goswami was interested Krishnat Kirtana Gana Nattana Paro, he was not disinterested with others who were not devotees. They were also interested. Not interested, but sympathetic. They are not interested in the material, but the ordinary householders, they would fight, husband and wife, and come to Sanatana Goswami for settlement, and whatever Sanatana Goswami would give judgment, they will accept. They will accept. Here they are very popular, Goswamis, and they are staying sometimes here, sometimes there, sometimes Radhakundu, sometimes. They are not staying in one place. So, our this Krishna consciousness movement, its only aim is how to satisfy Krishna. Method, that is intelligence. What method we should accept so that our this process of or the propaganda of Krishna consciousness may go on very nice. The process should be only to satisfy Krishna, Haritosam. That is the recommended Vedic process. Atapam vidijasreshta varnasrama vibhagasa sanusthitasya dharmasya samsiddhi Haritosanam. Samsiddhi means perfection. So perfection, if you want perfection of our activities, then we should try to satisfy by our activity the Supreme Personality of God. You may say that I do not see Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. How I shall be able to know that I am satisfying or dissatisfying him? That you can know through your spiritual master. It is not very difficult. If your spiritual master is satisfied, then you should know that Krishna is satisfied. Jasya prasadat bhagavat. There is no difficulty. Jasya prasadat navati kutopi. You cannot satisfy Krishna by dissatisfying your spiritual master. That is not possible. That is not possible. You must satisfy. Jasya prasadat bhagavat prasadat. Do not take the excuse that I do not know God, I do not meet Him, how I shall know that I have satisfied Him or dissatisfied Him? The Shastra says yes. It doesn't matter. Therefore it is called parampara. Parampara. As you receive the knowledge from Krishna, from Arjuna, and from Narada, from Brahma, like that, come down to your spiritual master. Similarly, as you receive the knowledge step by step, one after another, similarly you satisfy also the Supreme Personality of Godhead from this state, this state, this state, this state. This is the process. Just like you come down step by step by step by step, similarly go up step by step by step by step. So this is the process. Bhagavat Tosanam or Haritosanam, also this way, and to receive the knowledge from Bhagavan, that is also parampara system. The parampara system must be maintained, and if it is done nicely, then as it is stated here, jadatra kriyate, whatever you do, that is for your perfection. If you keep this parampara system, and if you try to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then whatever you do, that is perfect. It doesn't matter. The taste is whether Krishna is satisfied, whether your spiritual master is satisfied. Then you are perfect. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So another wonderful class, so many explanations Srila Prabhupada has given. So now we can unmute and begin to have discussion about it. Any takeaways, please unmute and talk about it. Any questions that you may have, pull it up, we'll discuss together. And any other realizations from it too, very much welcome. Hare Krishna. So please unmute your phones and let's have a wonderful discussion.
Please accept my humble obeisances, all those who show Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Yeah, for some reason, I think this class is a bit more heavier, I feel, quote unquote. Somehow I'm feeling that Srila Prabhupada was pretty intense in this class. I mean, all his classes are, but this one, I think it was a little bit of a wake-up call, to devotees, I think, to really, what's the word, Srila Prabhupada saying, to really assess our Krishna consciousness, I feel, to assess our level of growth, our understanding, to actually see where we are at and where we should be. And Srila Prabhupada has used the word, what is the difficulty? I think like at least 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. So because I was counting, as my, he used that phrase quite a bit in this lecture. So that's why I was feeling that the Prabhupada is telling us to snap out of our laziness. Of course, then he mentioned the 6 to 8 hours. So and how we should not be too comfortable, because we can be comfortable unknowingly. I think that was my takeaway, was that we can be comfortable unknowingly and think that we are not comfortable, but actually we're becoming comfortable. So we have to really be careful about that, and really seek out spiritual guidance on how to, how we should not be too comfortable unknowingly. I think that's the key word, that's my takeaway, is to really assess our Krishna consciousness, not to be too comfortable unknowingly, because Maya is pretty strong. So that was my takeaway. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, it's very, very important, the points that you've made from Srila Prabhupada's lecture. He has said in other lectures that a devotee's life is a life of tapasya. It's a life of tapasya. And so tapasya he defined as not doing that thing that the materialists do, sense gratification. And so today he broke it down in the eating and don't stay away from meat, fish, eggs, and so many other things. He talked about sleeping, as you pointed out. Don't oversleep, and then many other things involved in sense gratification. We have to actually reject those so that we just stay on the side of Krishna consciousness. And the Krishna consciousness rules, then Krishna will be satisfied. With that, we have a chance to go back home. Thank you for your comments and your takeaways. Any other takeaways? Please just either electronically raise your hand or just unmute yourself and start joining with the discussion. Hare Krishna. Any other takeaways? Any other questions? Any other comments that you heard?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Yeah, I joined a little late, but wonderful
well.
class by Srila Prabhupada. I think in earlier part of the lecture, Srila Prabhupada was mentioning how we can get to know Krishna, and Prabhupada reference, where is the authority or the proof Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And Srila Prabhupada mentions these different shastras named Mahabharata, Itihasa, and Prabhupada mentions in Krishna name is mentioned in each and every shastra. That's how we know Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's the authority. So that's the point I was thinking on, how Srila Prabhupada goes to the root. If someone questions, how we can explain them. This is where the authority and the references comes in history and the itihasas. So that's the point I was thinking on.
Wonderful. Yes. Many people don't know who God is. In fact, he started off like that. And so he used that to prove from the itihasas, from the historical point of view, from authoritative point of view, all of that was used wonderfully. Srila Prabhupada, he can blend the different places in the Shastra so nicely to make a point about Krishna's identity. And so he says, the Vaishnavas, we know Krishna. So this is wonderful. Hare Krishna. Any other comments? Okay, so why are you thinking about it?
That was a nice takeaway by Nitya Gopal, because actually I was waiting for him to share his, because he always has nice takeaways and realizations. So thank you, Nitya Gopal, for sharing that. But yeah, Prabhupada was, like you said, he started off saying, Shri Prabhupada, everything is revealed to us. What is so difficult? Actually, I remember it just came to my mind when we had when we were invited to a home a couple of weeks ago. And after the program, myself and Nitya Gopal were just sitting and talking. And I don't know whether you remember, Nitya Gopal, but we were both saying, everything is there. I don't know, what is the difficulty?
Yeah, I
Do you remember that?
Yes,
Everything is there. There is no rocket science. Everything is told by the Shastra, by our spiritual master, the seniors. I don't understand what is the block. And it's so true. It's everything is there. But then, after that day, Prabhu, I went back and I started thinking, I said, it's because of our ego, It's because of our false ego. We just think that we know it all. We are, it's our ego. We are attached to Whatever we are attached to, we don't want to give it up, you know. And one thing I realized over, you know, the past couple of days, of actually about a week or two, the past 2 weeks actually, is how much do we really believe what Srila Prabhupada is saying?
Right.
I think
Right.
that's the key point, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
It's so true, because how much do we really believe what Srila, you know, like hearing what he's saying is one thing, but do we really believe in it, that we are ready to accept it, whatever it is? So I think that is the thing, you know, that was one of the points that came to my mind, is how much do we really believe what the founder Acharya is saying, you know, and
Right.
then just execute. But yeah, I was having that realization when we were talking about that the other day, and this is very much in link with this class this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. I think it's our nature to be, enjoyed or controlled and
Yes.
explore other things that brings us, to the material or the material platform, or gets in the Maya, and we leave our instruction. But we are
Yes.
with the association of devotee, we are in the class, we feel makes sense. But the moment we leave this association, then we are vulnerable to the other activities in the material world.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking of. When like people thinks it makes sense, then what pulls away from these? At one point, they agreed, yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. I was just thinking, then what it pulls their association with the different things, or the non-duty association or the materialistic association pulls them away from it. That's what I was thinking of.
It's so true. It's so true, Prabhu. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree also. So many things that we get ourselves involved in is because the material energy, we are in the material world, and since we are in the marginal, making the choice of spiritual or material, sometimes Maya just sneaks in and gets us to think in terms of material, and then we get caught up with the material things, and the next thing we know, a simple process that's straightforward becomes a complicated process because we're complicating it with material activities. So we have to be very, very, very careful. Hare Krishna. So, yeah, go ahead, Nitya.
I said true. Yeah. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
So, dear Krishna Prabhu said left something in the chat. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Oh, actually, there's quite a bit here. Hopefully I haven't mixed things. Okay, very good. That was yesterday's. Oh, glory to the Prabhupada. Another difficulty, anathas that do not allow us to absorb the transcendental knowledge. As one starts collecting more and more bhakti, unmukhi, shivrikiti, the impact of past anathas and offenses start diminishing. Okay. Anathas, unwanted things, unwanted desires that allow us, that keep us from getting absorbed in the transcendental knowledge and the transcendental lifestyle. We collect more and more and more. Of course, in Nectar of Instruction, we've told we don't overeat, we don't over collect. We shouldn't over collect. And as Dear Christopher has brought it up here, collecting more and more things that are material will not help us. It will not help us. But Srila Prabhupada blends the material with the spiritual so nicely also. But in terms of what we have to do. But I don't know whether that's someone else's takeaway. If you do have that, you can comment on that. If not, then that's part of my takeaway. But in the meantime, I'll just hold up if others want to chime in on it. So anybody else with a takeaway that wants to chime in? That would be very nice if you can. All right, so while you're thinking of that, so here's some of my takeaway. He started very, very important thing that hit me, and it was because I came from a Christian background to Krishna consciousness through different other religions. And he started by saying, So Haritoshana. People do not know God, so how can they satisfy him? You can give a simple example. Mr. John. Okay, go to Mr. John. Do is this with Mr. John. But who is Mr. John? You didn't identify Mr. John. How can you find and do anything with Mr. John? But it says Krishna conscious devotees know who Krishna is. They know who he is, they know his address, because he lives in Vakunta, Golok Vrindavan, they know his father, Nanda Maharaj. So we can satisfy God. If you do not know God, how can you satisfy him? And then he began to prove, as part of what Nitya Prabhupada was saying, from a historical point of view, Krishna is in the Mahabharata. Krishna himself speaks in the Mahabharata, that part which is called the Bhagavad Gita. He appeared 5,000 years ago and acted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he gave wisest instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. So that's Krishna's intelligence and now Krishna's beauty. Srila Prabhupada talked about Krishna so beautiful that 16,000 very beautiful women were attracted to him. He can surpass millions and millions of cupids, so he's called Madan Mohan. So ours is very clear. We know who he is. We don't follow a blind type philosophy like an owl's philosophy. The owl does not open his eyes to see the sunlight. Daytime he shuts his eyes. We do not follow our philosophy, but we follow the philosophy which is identifying Krishna and even Brahma. He talks about Brahma as Adi Kavi, the original learned scholar. And he gives a description of Krishna's abode. Krishna is fond of tending the cows, the Surabhi cows. The residential houses are made of chintamani, touchstone, which contains iron to gold. They are used as the bricks for the walls there. And Krishna is the origin of everything. Just like the tree, the cause of a tree is a root. So if you maintain the root, then the tree will be satisfied. Similarly, for us to be happy, we have to be satisfying Krishna. That should be our aim. When we satisfy Krishna, then everything comes wonderfully. As he says in the Bhagavad Gita, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever austerities, do all of that for me. Not that he wants everything from us and we don't get anything, but actually, Krishna is the root of the tree that we are part of. Therefore, when we satisfy the root of the tree by giving to the root, to giving to Krishna, then the entire tree is, including ourselves, we get satisfied. And that is, in fact, how we'll be happy. You have to only by serving Krishna, only by saying that we should give all to Krishna. So that's some of the takeaways that I had. Anybody else that wants to add more to it? There's so much more. I know there's some of you that want to, hearing is very nice, but sometimes you can join in with the discussion also. It makes it interesting.
Thank you for bringing up that owl philosophy. That was the first time I've actually heard Prabhupada say the owl philosophy. And I was trying to imagine, the owls do sit on the tree and just shut the eyes, and I've never heard that. And I said, wow, that's an amazing philosophy. It's called the owl philosophy. Thank you for bringing that up because that struck me and I was like, whoa, Prabhupada is a way. But thank you.
Krishna says, as you said, Srila Prabhupada says, for us to be happy, we have to satisfy Krishna. So scientific work, industrial work, he called it lucky key. Krishna consciousness movement says, whatever you do, even the lucky key, you must satisfy Krishna. We can't have only Brahmins on the Varnashram system. There must be Kshatriyas, there must be Vaishyas, Shudras. They all do material work. The Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, material work. So Varna is for material advancement and Ashram for spiritual advancement. So both should be there, but we should not be attached to the bodily demands. Don't eat just to satisfy the tongue, like eating meat and eating fish and eating eggs. or don't sleep so long. And he was sarcastic statement that was kind of funny. He said, don't sleep 26 hours. We know there's 24 hours a day, but he intentionally said, don't sleep a long time. Sleep about 6 hours, at most 8 hours. Then he talked about the Goswamis having conquered eating and sleeping. There are two classes of men, Dhira, the sober, and Adira, which is the opposite of a person that's sober. Sober means a saintly person. Dhira, saintly person, sober, in control of his senses. And he gave the examples of the Goswamis who were very sober and very much in control of their senses. And they were very popular in Vrindavan. He even said sometimes a husband and wife would fight, but they would come to Sanatana Goswami for settlement. And whatever he said, they would agree. Sanatana Goswami was very, very popular. Another point, so a little more about Sanatana Goswami. So, living a very, very, very renounced life. They were sleeping on the trees, him, Rupa Goswami, and there were 6 of them in total. And he would visit. Sanatana Goswami would go to the homes of the residents in Vrindavan. And sometimes they would come to him, and they would come with all material things, and it's like Srila Prabhupada in this lecture talked about even a husband and wife fighting and they can't resolve the matter, they go to Sanatana Goswami. They would ask him all kinds of material questions. Sanatana Goswami was very wise, and he would answer all those questions, but when he finishes answering them, they get more connected with Krishna consciousness because he would end the advice that he's given them or the answer to their questions with Krishna consciousness. So even if it's a material question that they ask him, he may start with the material to give the solution there, but he also will add Krishna consciousness to it in order to elevate their consciousness. So that's what Sanatana Goswami. That's why it was quite popular. And final point that I want to make my takeaway is that the spiritual master has to be satisfied, then Krishna is satisfied. You cannot satisfy Krishna by dissatisfying the spiritual master. And the spiritual master in the parampara, it's not possible to do that. So he finished by letting us know that it's the importance of connecting with spiritual master and also serving him. So, Hare Krishna. Any other last comments, takeaways, questions?
I like Hare Krishna. I like the point. First creator is Brahma, and what does it? Brahma instructs or tells, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami.
Okay.
Yeah.
Describing.
Yeah.
Describing the spiritual world, describing Krishna's, what he likes to do, so many things. So we know about God. That's why we can just focus on serving him. If you don't know him, how can you serve him?
Right.
It's very, very important. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right then. Any other last minute questions or takeaways or realizations? Okay. So thank you all for coming. We all benefited so much by hearing Srila Prabhupada. And if we hear him every day by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, that would be wonderful for us. We keep it up like that. Vancha kalpatarubhesya kripa sindhibhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And that's why some people call him Savior of the world. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.